voice acting. It's no secret to many of us fans of animated series, video games, and movies that voice acting can make or break us actually enjoying things. Like most flights of fantasy that we go into in life, we actually don't want to be taken out of the fantasy world in any way, shape, or form, and nothing is more jarring than when voice acting doesn't exactly go how it probably should. But rather than be negative, I thought I'd focus on my top 5 favorite voice actors in movies, video games, and animated series. Starting out at number 5, we are focusing on Jake the Dog from the Adventure Time series. Played by John DiMaggio, he's probably most famous for his work as Bender in the Futurama series. And unfortunately, Bender's not making this list, mainly because I truly just love the Jake the Dog character.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
And for anyone who's a fan of DiMaggio's work, you're probably gonna make correlations between his character of Bender and his character of Jake, just in the terms of their voice styles.
You know, they're just different. I mean, you know, Jake doesn't drink.
Yes, it's true that DiMaggio really hasn't made much of a leap there between Bender and Jake the Dog, but when you got a voice like his just in general, you really don't actually have to do much. The man is a character actor, and he's certainly been capable of doing other characters. I mean, I'm not sure if any of you are aware, but he also did Marcus Phoenix from the Gears of War series.
Not a goddamn word.
But why I think the voice acting for Jake the Dog stands out above the rest is mainly because of the amount of heart and feels they can end up having in it. This is a testament to the writers, to the actual show's elements and themes in itself, but it also always comes down to the actor's performance. And there isn't a doubt in my mind that I wouldn't have to sacrifice myself to the lich if I didn't include Jake the Dog purely for this one particular song in general.
Making bacon pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancakes.
Hey you! Halt! He's the one. The one from the commercial. Affirmative. That's him. Can we get an autograph?
Oh, sure, no problem.
James P. Sullivan, aka also known as Sully, or if you're more inclined, Kitty. It smells like tuna. There's an argument to be made in voice acting communities where a lot of roles are considered stolen by big-time professional actors. A lot of casting directors, a lot of producers, a lot of video game makers and TV show execs, they want a big-name star to be attached behind the voice of a certain character to try and boost those ratings and those audience numbers because they believe that the star power will draw people in. This is not really an argument that is up for debate. This is a true fact. When you see a name that you recognize, more people want to get on board. Unfortunately, we're just very rarely going to see these big-name voice actors actually get into huge AAA studio roles. And whilst we can catch cry and grab the pitchforks and be upset about that, it really is just the true facts of the situation. But these arguments aside, you can't really shit on the fact that these actors do good performances sometimes. Sure, some of them aren't always great, but most of the time they're friggin' fantastic. None more so than when John Goodman played James P. Sullivan in Monsters, Inc. and later in Monsters University. He runs the whole spectrum from frightening to friendly in these instant little moments, and you just can't help but feel so much heart and sadness for the genuine performances that take place. Now granted, a lot of that is because we're reading into the animation, but those particular scenes in general where you hear the emotion and the tremble in Sully's voice are what really seem to grab you and resonate with you.
No, it's okay. I was just... No, don't be scared.
I mean, there is not a single person who's seen Monsters, Inc. who can't forget the line, "Kitty has to go."
Kitty has to go.
And his questioning line at the end of the film when the door gets all put back together and he gets in and he says just 3 letters, 1 word with an inflection.
Ooh.
Kitty.
That performance creates a perfect ending for the film, an up note for the rest of us, and a memorable moment for us for all time.
Bring me a door shredder.
What? You mean I can't see her again?
You have to pull yourself together! You have 2 children and a Louise to take care of!
Kristen Schaal as Louise Belcher in Bob's Burgers. This woman deserves god-tier status in the worlds of voice acting, I swear. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, Gravity Falls, Toy Story 3, Archer, BoJack Horseman. She's been in so many award-winning great animated TV shows and movies, but it's her memorable performances as Louise Belcher in Bob's Burgers that I love the most. It could just come down to the fact that I love Louise's character. She's such a fucking hellion. And I guess at my age, looking down to, you know, hopefully one day having a daughter of my own, I hope so greatly to have a daughter like Louise, one who challenges me and makes me realize that I'm being a boring dad in any way, shape, or form.
It's my daddy! How did you first get into bank robbing?
The unfortunate thing about her entry in this one is that I literally can't pin down a single exclusive scene where the performance stands above the rest. Every single time Louise is on the screen, it's an absolute stitch, and for me, it's largely just hearing Kristen's voice. It just fucking gets me, man.
Shut up! It doesn't matter! Stop talking! Start working! Work!
And pull the trigger! Do it! Do it, motherfucker! Pull the trigger!
Now, I might be cheating a little bit with this one, but the guy does voice the two main characters and, of course, so many more on the series. But Justin Roiland as both Rick and Morty in the show Rick and Morty. I don't think there's an adult fan now who currently still watches adult cartoons that doesn't already know about Rick and Morty. And if you don't, you absolutely need to watch it. I was put onto this show about a year ago, and right from the get-go, it was the voice acting that grabbed me immediately. From the very first instance in the very first episode, we get this introduction to these two characters. We see Morty wake up on a bed, and Rick stumbles in. I had no idea about the history behind the show, who the people were involved with it. I just got put onto it by a friend who said you had to watch Rick and Morty. I started watching it, and then I was like, where the hell has this been all my life? The belching, the chaos, the improvisational nature of it all, it's absolutely insane. They even go tongue-in-cheek later in the series where they point out the improvisational notion of everything.
Huh? Seems like TV from other dimensions has a somewhat looser feel to it. Yeah, it's got an almost improvisational tone.
But I just couldn't believe a show coming from Dan Harmon, same creator behind Community and Scrubs, had gone into animated TV shows and done so well. But as much as the writing and producing and directing and the style of the show actually comes down, again, every single time it comes down to performance. It's so uniquely what it is that it's incomparable to anything else. The end result from one man having a conversation with himself in a quiet room speak for themselves. I've seen this one particular episode at least 11 times, and it never, ever gets old.
I gotta fix this thing. Please, God in heaven. Please, God, oh Lord, hear my prayers. Yes! You, God! Not today, bitch!
Hey, Sharpie. Love what you've done with the place.
The final one in regards to voice acting, of course, anyone who's actually a fan of voice actors themselves who is watching this video because they're interested in voice acting, hello to the people from the related searches. You absolutely 100% cannot go past Mark Hamill. It still smells like tuna. There's a reason this man is known as the Joker. With all the other representations of Joker that have ever existed in any single timeline of film or TV show or video game, anything where the voice of the Joker has to be done, 10 times out of 10, everyone will say Mark Hamill is their Joker. We've been reading the comics for years, we've never really known what the Joker sounds like, but when we heard Mark Hamill do it, we just accepted that was the Joker's voice. And here's the thing, unlike most of the people that I've actually listed here, it's not really just an over-dramatization of their voice that they have, their own voice. When you have these particular actors who are known for their particular voices doing exaggerated performances of their particular voices, it's really great and there's nothing against that. But in terms of acting and finding the voice and finding the character and sticking with it and being so consistent in its performance no matter what the script asks it to be, you really can't go past Mark Hamill's performance as the Joker. But none more so, I think, than his performance in the Arkham Asylum series.
But you of all people should know, there's plenty wrong with me.
You have speeches and monologues and threats and all these things going the whole way through the series. It just keeps you engaged the entire time. It managed to get Mark Hamill back into the limelight where he friggin' belongs as the Joker. So much so was the actual fandom developed because of his performance as the Joker in Arkham Asylum that when it came time for the Killing Joke, people were begging to get Mark Hamill out of retirement and back involved doing the voice of the Joker. And say what you want about the Killing Joke movies, which were like, I don't know what that first 45 was about. But if you took out everything else and just looked at the performances themselves from Mark Hamill, every single one is 10 out of 10, consistent, brilliant every single time. It puts a chill and a grin on your face the entire time. Which, hey, if that's not Joker, what is?
Why aren't you laughing?
All it takes is one bad
But hey, that's the list, guys, so if you have any other actual suggestions for great voice acting performances, it is something I truly love and want to hear more about. Write it in the comments below, give us a like, and of course,